on the screen on the dock. It's weird. I don't know what's going on, but
it seems to only happen here.
In this office. Every time. Yeah.
Eric, are you dropping that into the
I want to throw a coffee case. Like you can't miss the break room.
webcast
I'm walking
channel?
around like, Kate, I'm missing the break room. What?
Is this in the Hersam Acorn
Amazingly, I can see it. I just couldn't figure out how to get to it.
Guess. I don't know. I'm on Hersam Acorn.
No, we're still hung up.
It's sort of like Fenway Park.
You know
I can
what's
see
weird?
it. I know it's there. How did I get
I'm good. I don't know what's going on. I'm fine.
Is everybody else good?
Oh, that's good. Okay, we just need to go down.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Oh, I'm gonna adjust John's camera.
So there's no individual on me. And
One more after this, and then I'll get us going.
thank you.
John, just share us with me. My computer. Let's get the coffee cups off the table.
Say what?
Yeah, no coffee. Wait, it's gonna say coffee break. Alright. So we're gonna have, okay, that's cool. That's good.
Why do you keep Periscope it from your phone also?
I've heard about Periscope. I want to try that.
It's good for spot news, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Do you guys need these papers? I don't know if I don't need them.
Good. I need the papers.
Yeah, if you have anything with it, I mean, it helps.
Good, good, good.
Darn you, bossy table. It's not working at all.
Awesome. It's actually just a bunch of blank pages at the end.
I got no shot on John now.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to work cameras. So
Okay. Let's put it on. Okay.
Take the shot off me and leave it on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna pan that shot from Rob to John. So
We're just gonna do this, Ralph's.
Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Yes, I do. You got me.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
yeah, Eric, do you mind if I work with the?
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Friday, April 10th, and this is your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics, coming to you from our newly designed Richfield studio.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. I'm used to looking across the table at you,
I know.
handing the paper sections back and forth, maybe asking for the comics.
Yeah, but here we are.
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder from the gleaming Ridgefield office tower.
See, there's a reason I had Kate bring us in. She always says that it's Friday, so happy.
She
And
does.
I am happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. The thought of it being Friday is a beautiful thing.
You know how we've been talking a lot about police kind of ramping up their distracted driving efforts? Well, when I was driving here this morning, when I was getting off the exit, there was a police officer standing at the exit with a notepad looking for people on their cell phones.
That's their spotting and calling ahead.
I was pretty grateful I wasn't on mine at the time.
And by the way, any sentence that starts with, you know how police are, it's ending bad for somebody. Somebody somewhere down the line that's ending real bad for.
Well, speaking of traveling, Don, what's happening on the roads right now?
Well, the roads are the roads. It's misting out there right now. We've got a crash in Newtown, 84 westbound at exit 9. That's got a lane closed there. Also delays in Darien, 95 northbound at exit 10. As far as the road work goes, road work in Waterbury, 84 westbound between exits 17 and 21, in effect today until 3 o'clock. The left lane closed. Also in Norwalk, 95 northbound at exit 13 until 2:15. The left lane closed there also. And in Westport, they are trimming trees at exit 42. John Kovach and I got acclimated to that this morning.
Yes, we did.
That's going on until 3 o'clock today. The right lane closed. Checking the weather, chance of showers before noon today. Areas of fog, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high near 54. Tonight, chance of showers mainly before 9, then patchy fog afterwards. Otherwise mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear, down to about 45. A brilliant spring weekend coming. Saturday, sunny with a high near 60. Cold night overnight, 36. And Sunday, sunny, highs near 65. I'll even throw in a sunny Monday, too. Kind of a bonus for you guys.
I don't want to think that far ahead.
If we make it to Monday, it should be sunny.
There you go.
Oh, and we should mention that people can watch us right now.
Yes.
If you go to hanradio.com/live-stream, you'll see us. So good luck to you.
Yeah, exactly. You sure that's a good thing?
Well, what's happening in the news this morning, John?
Kate, in what could be the final chapter of a heartbreaking story out of Ridgefield, they sentenced the father whose son died after he accidentally left him in the car last July yesterday, saying that Kyle Seitz, 37 years old, formerly of Blue Ridge Road in Ridgefield, had suffered enough since being charged with negligent homicide for leaving his son Benjamin unattended in a hot car last summer. Superior Court Judge Kevin Russo Thursday pronounced a sentence that includes no actual jail or probation. Russo sentenced Seitz to a year in prison, suspended, meaning he will serve no actual time, and a 2-year conditional release, effective immediately, which means Seitz must stay out of trouble with the law and continue attending counseling sessions in the aftermath of young Benjamin's death. The judge said that he believed that Mr. Seitz had suffered enough that he could not punish him more. This even after the prosecutor called for some punishment for the father. Russo said in all his years of being a judge, he had never seen a more favorable pre-trial investigation into an accused defendant. He noted that Seitz has an impressive resume and several bachelor's degrees. Friends, family, and the Ridgefield community showed an outpouring of support for Seitz and backed up his reputation as a good father. His wife, Lindsay, wrote that he's not just a good father or a great father, he's an amazing father. That letter was read aloud to Judge Russo by Lindsay Seitz's attorney, Peter Buzade. Buzade, speaking on behalf of Lindsay Seitz, called for leniency. Mr. Seitz's attorney, John Goulash, echoed that call. Their request was granted by the judge, who refused to even place Kyle Seitz on probation. Under the terms, the Seitz will live in Colorado, where he has taken up residence, and continue with treatment that has left family members with depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, Russo said. Seitz, dressed in a blue suit, clean-shaven face, and closely cropped hair, thanked the judge and thanked the community for its support. The courtroom was packed with more than a dozen news reporters who held a brief press conference on the courthouse steps after the session concluded. There, Goulash faced the cameras and said the family had been through a lot. He said the lenient sentence was appropriate. Again, the charge of negligent homicide was the result of Mr. Seitz leaving his son Benjamin, who was a little more than a year old, unattended in a parked vehicle for an extended period of time on July 7th. Temperatures were in the 80s that day. Seitz got out of work that Monday afternoon, discovered his son in the back of the car, and called for help. The boy's death was ruled a homicide by the state medical examiner's office August 21st. Your coffee break time is 11:10.
Oh, just a terrible story.
I have kind of mixed feelings on that ruling also. I mean, I understand people are distracted and, it's a tragic accident, but an accident nonetheless. I kind of don't see what his level of education and the fact that he has bachelor's degrees has to do with anything.
That's true.
I had a hard time with that.
That gave me some
part of it
pause
as
there.
Well, that your level of education determines. So if he didn't have
so if he was
bachelor's degrees and he left his son in a hot car,
if he was a blue collar worker with a high school diploma, then that would be different. I had a hard time with that.
Yeah, I really can't reconcile that. Do I think he's been through enough?
Oh no, I don't want to see him in jail either. I'm sure he's suffering and will continue to do so. I just that one comment about his education level kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But that's just.
It was interesting. I was actually watching the news recently, and there was a young girl who had invented what she hopes is a way to prevent hot car deaths and people leaving their children behind in the car. And it's basically a sensor in the seat that would set off an alarm. It would be an app on your phone, would set off an alarm if the keys are out of the ignition and there's still a child in the seat.
Right, and they do have the kind of technology because, I mean, for example, my car, if it knows if there's someone in the passenger seat, and if there is, and the seatbelt's not on, it's going to buzz and make noise. Right. So the technology is there, and hopefully we don't report on very many more of these stories.
No. Well, in other news, the Milford Police Department is still looking for a man who has been missing several weeks and who may be in need of medication. 57-year-old Donald Antoniak was last seen March 21st at the Shoreline Motel at 735 Boston Post Road in Milford. Antoniak is a white male. He's about 5 feet 11 inches tall, 300 to 350 pounds, with gray hair, a beard, and hazel eyes. He was last seen wearing blue hospital-type scrubs. Antoniak suffers from an extensive medical history and may be in need of medication, police said. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact the Milford Police at 203-878-6551. You can also visit milfordpd.org and click Crime Tips if you have any information.
Thank you, Kate. 11:11 on your coffee break. Time to check in with the roads and the weather with Don.
I thought you were going to throw in an 11:11 wish here on our Friday.
I leave that to you because I could never do it as well as
style.
you do.
Numeric superstitions, that's just kind of my thing.
I'm superstitious, I'll tell you that.
We still have that accident in Newtown, 84 westbound at exit 9. That's the Route 25 interchange there. Backups in Darien, 95 northbound at exit 10. That's in the Roten Avenue. Also, Waterbury roadwork, 84 westbound at exit 17 until 3 o'clock today, according to the DOT. The left lane closed. Norwalk roadwork, 95 north at exit 16 until 2:15 today. The left lane closed. And Westport tree trimming. Parkway southbound at exit 42, backed up about 5 miles today until 3 o'clock. The right lane closed there. Checking the weather, chance of showers before noon today, otherwise foggy and cloudy with a high near 54. Tonight, chance of showers before 9, also some patchy fog here and there, otherwise mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear, low down to around 45. And a beautiful weekend coming. Saturday, Sunday, sunny, highs in the 60s. Monday's going to be nice too as we go back to work. Coffee break time, 11:13.
All right. Thanks, Don. Well, when we come back, you're going to be taking a look back in history.
Another big day.
All right. We're also going to talk local sports with Rob, so that's coming up on your coffee break.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com. We are coming to you live from our Ridgefield studio. New look for us, new look for you. John Kovach with Kate Czaplinski, Donald Eng, Rob Adams on the controls, giving us sports in a little bit. Whole crew behind the scenes that I'll introduce later. It is time for our daily look back at what makes this day unique.
A lot of unique things, one of which, the safety pin, invented today in 1849. Also, on this day, April 10th, 1866, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Incorporated. Henry Bergh founded the society in New York City on the belief that animals are entitled to kind and respectful treatment at the hands of humans and must be protected under law. It is the oldest animal welfare organization in the U.S. Starting around the turn of the 20th century, small domestic animals like cats and dogs became the main focus for ASPCA members, although they also continued to monitor livestock and other things like that. The society released its first annual report in 1867 after a man was sentenced to 10 days in prison for beating a cat to death. The ASPCA founded in 1866. Also, on this day, 1912, RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on its ill-fated maiden voyage. RMS, by the way, stands for Royal Mail Steamer. Private companies would contract with the British government to deliver mail throughout the empire. 1925, F. Scott Fitzgerald publishes The Great Gatsby. I don't know how I got through high school and college without reading it, but I did.
So we beat on. Boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past, Don. But you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I heard you say boats, and I'm thinking Titanic, Elvis.
It's a great book. Now, I don't think any movie has ever done it justice, but it's a great book. I thought the one with DiCaprio was just
bad.
It was visually stunning.
Visually okay, but I thought overall, oof.
Oof.
And I didn't think the
Is that the review?
Wow, Mark Sherman shaking in his boots on that review there, Rob.
Mark Schumann, yeah, I totally agree.
Ouch.
And now can we talk about how the ASPCA now exists to torture us with terrible commercials that I have to turn and run out of the room every time they're on?
Oh, yeah, the Sarah McLachlan commercials. And then finally we'll end on a happier note. 1970, a film legend at the Academy Awards, for many of them, I'm guessing, the first time they ever heard him talk.
I'm guessing that's for me. Sorry, guys, I don't have that. So that's on me. I will try to pull it up for you as soon as I can.
Well, in the meantime, I'll let you know that was Charlie Chaplin accepted an honorary Academy Award for his incalculable contribution to making the motion picture the art form of the 20th century. It was part of his first visit to the U.S. in 20 years. He had actually gone into semi-exile in the 1950s because he generated controversy with his political views, his refusal to become an American citizen, and his 4 marriages, including one to the 18-year-old daughter of playwright Eugene O'Neill. Chaplin, by the way, was 54 when he married Una O'Neill. He left America in 1952, vowing never to return, even if Jesus himself were elected president. Clearly touched by the warm welcome back to the States, though. Chaplin, of course, best known for his character The Little Tramp, which he played in more than 70 films. As movies began to feature sound, he appeared less frequently on film, but he did memorably reprise the role for the 1940 film The Great Dictator, where he parodied, of all people, Adolf Hitler. So it was an interesting video clip, and what I thought was the most touching was that as the crowd stood and applauded, he popped his bowler hat off his head one more time. So Charlie Chaplin accepts his Academy Award today, April 10th, 1970, and that is your historical look back.
So that means that he did come back to the United States.
He did come back, and as far as I know, Jesus was not president.
Allegedly.
Well, you never know. It may be.
Yeah, so the gold statue was the draw.
No, actually, I think he was already here. He had already come back on a visit. And then he had a few Oscars. He didn't have as many as you might think for someone that has 200 or so film credits to their name. But nope, he was visiting the United States and just kind of popped in for an Oscar.
Must be nice. Time for a look at sports with Rob Adams. And Rob, this is one of those years when the weather is just wreaking havoc with the schedule, and it's going to have an effect in the postseason because teams that might have one solid starting pitcher who can go on 4 days rest and can get a couple of starts a week, they're going to end up with games piled up, and they're not going to be able to use them as often as they would think.
Yeah, in the case of Darien, they're fortunate because they've got the turf field. Now, West Hill winds up losing a home game as a result, John, but they have moved the West Hill-Darien game from West Hill to the Darien turf field. So that's, unfortunately you don't get to play on your home turf.
But if you can use your ace, that might outweigh that.
Yeah, it's what they're going to have to do. McMahon Norwalk is also postponed. That has been moved to Saturday at 4. Greenwich and Trinity Catholic, that has been postponed to Tuesday at 4, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to either slot some things on Saturday or find time next week, probably Tuesday, and then fingers crossed that they can survive with the weather holding out.
Hope it's a 1 week thing and we can move past this and get back into the regular flow.
Exactly right. Now I'm kind of saving, I'm burying the lead, if you will, but we had Wilton Ridgefield all lined up to be played today, and both FCAC and the quickly becoming legendary Sean Saylor have reported that Wilton and Ridgefield have been postponed to tomorrow at 3:30. So we'll have a broadcast tomorrow, except it'll be at 4:50, and it'll be up at Dodd Stadium in Norwich as the Norwich Free Academy team hosting the Darien Blue Wave. I'll be up there for the call. Excited to make that trip up there. Just, I'll miss you up there, John. I will miss Josh. We had a great time there last year. I'll miss the whole team, but certainly good memories and a great ballpark to go to, so I'm excited to go check that out tomorrow up in Norwich at the opposite end of the state. A couple of notes for you. The Massac High boys tennis team beat Stratford High 4-3 in their season opener as the Panthers won their first match in 3 seasons. Leading the way at the Short Beach Tennis Club was freshman Aman Ashab at number 1 singles as the freshman won his first varsity match. Kevin Tran at number 4 singles and the number 3 doubles team of Dylan Condon and Soria Chalenthian also posted victories for Massac. On Thursday, the Panthers fell to Joel Barlow of Reading 6-1. Ashab beat Sam Ulfson 6-2, 6-2. Some other scores from around the area. It was Staples over Greenwich in tennis 4-3. Greenwich 11, Trumbull 7. That's in boys lacrosse. From boys tennis, Staples 5, Greenwich 2. Boys lacrosse, Wilton over Ward 18-6. Girls lacrosse, New Canaan beat Fox Lane out of Bedford, New York 14-5. And from boys tennis, New Canaan 7 and Trumbull nothing. Now, some of these games, as I mentioned, already canceled for today, but I'll read them for you. Danbury and Bassick at 4. These are all baseball. Greenwich and Trinity Catholic, we know that's been moved. New Canaan and Trumbull right now still scheduled. Darien and West Hill will play in Darien, but of course this is still all weather permitting because we are still expecting some showers and whatnot this afternoon, as Don the Doom and Gloom told us earlier, and I'm just getting even for all the abuse I've taken this week. It's Stanford and Central, Wilton and Ridgefield. Go ahead, Don. You should respond to
I was going to say, we're not even. I'll let you know when we're even.
Norwalk and McMahon have been moved. Harding and Ward still scheduled to play. Ludlow and St. Joe's as well. Softball, Staples at Nonawag, Bassick at Danbury, Trinity Catholic at Greenwich, Trumbull at New Canaan, West Hill takes on Darien, Central at Stamford, Ridgefield at Wilton, McMahon at Norwalk, St. Joe's at Ludlow, and Ward at Harding. From girls lacrosse, we have Norwalk at St. Joe's, Danbury is at Lewis Mills, Weston at Trumbull, and Ward is at Wilton. Boys tennis, Massac at Trumbull. It is St. Luke's at New Canaan, and all New Canaan matchup there. Harding Bassick at Wilcox Tech, and McMahon at Central. Those are girls tennis matchups. From boys volleyball, Darien is at Danbury, Harding at New Canaan, Staples at Bassick, St. Joe's at Trumbull, Greenwich at Ridgefield, and the Ward Ludlow Co-op is at Central. And one last note, and we say it with a little bit of a heavy heart because I think the country really fell in love with this young woman. Out of Cincinnati, the Associated Press reporting that Lauren Hill, who spent her final year polishing a layup and inspiring others to live fully, she succeeded at both as she fought an inoperable brain tumor, but the 19-year-old freshman basketball player at Mount St. Joseph University died at a hospital Friday morning. The co-founder of her nonprofit foundation told the Associated Press in a quote, they said, through Lauren's fundraising and advocacy efforts, she not only became a spotlight on the lack of fundraising for cancer research, but she most certainly has become a beacon guiding researchers for years to come. That's from the Cure Starts Now co-founder Brooke Dessearch, who said that. And of course, I'm sure we all remember, sports fans and non-sports fans alike, remember that she had a chance to play right here in her freshman season, always longed to be a college basketball player, got her wish. And if you remember, it was a very big deal when she got to play, Don, and just a remarkable job by both teams that night.
It was, and also, it's fashionable to bash the NCAA, but in this case, they did the right thing.
They got it right.
They moved the game forward 3 weeks, actually before the actual official start of the season. They allowed Mount St. Joseph to play a game. Before the season started, simply because the thought was that Lauren would not be healthy enough to play if they waited till the actual season began. And Mount St. Joseph, a tiny school with a gym that holds about 400, they sold 10,000 tickets for the game, and it was remarkable to watch the other team hugging and crying. You want to know why we love sports? Yeah, there's the competition, there's the dedication, there's the effort and desire that goes into it. It also has the ability to give us these transcendent moments that can be special when a 19-year-old young woman hits a layup and the country rejoiced. So
yeah, it really was a remarkable job by Xavier University to open their arena up, 10,000 seat arena, and tickets sold out in less than an hour. It was just, you're right, transcendent. One of those really, and we don't see enough good sports stories, and that was one of them.
They're out there. We don't always see them.
They're hard to find, and some of that is our responsibility as the reporters of these things, because we've got the A-Rods of the world and things like that. And I'm not trying to bash an A-Rod, but we know the reality there. And I guess his name's fresh in my mind because he did homer last night, and But very sorry to hear and read about the passing of Lauren Hill. Yeah. Obviously, there were great odds stacked up against this young woman who was just 19, and clearly a life taken far too soon, but someone who I hope her name and her legacy live on, because it deserves to.
Well, I'm sure. With her charity, with her with her fundraising and just the dignity with which she lived out her life, I'm confident there'll be a Lauren Hill Cancer Center somewhere for juvenile cancer.
Absolutely true. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time 11:28.
Thanks, Rob. Kate, we had news out of Stratford that
yes.
This is a story that's been bubbling up
for quite a while.
And it's going to linger.
Yeah. Well, the Stratford Town Council has decided to sell the town's water pollution control plant to the Greater New Haven Water Pollution Control Authority. In a vote many expected, the council voted in a series of special meetings Thursday to sell the facility and its assets to the New Haven region. Stratford will join New Haven, East Haven, Hamden, and Woodbridge in the Regional Water Pollution Control Service. Council members voted 7-2 to sell the facility and its assets. Council members Stephanie Phillips and Paul Hoydick were the only ones to vote against the sale. Many of the audience members in Town Hall held up signs denouncing the sale, featuring slogans like "Keep your hands out of our sewer system" and
"No problem."
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And "Keep the sewers, flush the sale." Clever. Mayor John Harkins has repeatedly maintained that Stratford will be better off under the New Haven Authority with an $11 million payment from the GNH WPCA, $5 million from the Stratford WPCA's reserve, the transfer of $37 million in town debt related to sewer plant upgrades made in 2006, and annual payments in lieu of taxes between $200,000 and $420,000. Harkins also said sewer customers won't pay as much under the GNH WPCA as they would if Stratford continued running the facility. Council Chairman Joe Kubik said Thursday that in his 10 years on council, members who make up the WPCA committee don't know much about operating a sewer plant, and it would be better served to be run by professionals. Town Attorney Tim Bishop said after the meeting that the deal will be completed before the end of 2014-15 fiscal year. He also cited state law as to why the deal cannot be sent to referendum, something many, including Democratic Town Committee Chairman Len Petroselli, wanted to see happen. Coffee break time is 11:30.
Apparently a sewer emergency breaking out somewhere.
Ed Norton somewhere to be found?
Danger, Will Robinson.
Some of our wacky sound effects we have going on here.
See, I was about to say that deal didn't pass the smell test, but I got totally overridden by that.
On that, it's 11:30. Let's step out for a break, and when we come back, we'll have more news, bring you up to speed on the roads and the weather. You're watching and listening to Coffee Break on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersam Acorn Network.
It's lots of characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Mary Ann Hersam at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
It's 11:33 on your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics. Kate Czaplinski in the Ridgefield studio with John Kovach, Donald Eng, and Rob Adams, hanging out.
Yeah, that's all we
having
do.
a good time.
That's what we do.
That's what we do together. John, what else is going on in the news this morning?
Heartbreaking story out of New Britain, Kate, where police are investigating the death of a 2-month-old baby girl on Connerton Street. The parents reportedly called 911 saying the child had stopped breathing. Emergency medical services responded and the child was pronounced dead. Neighbors said the family lives in a third-floor unit of a multi-family house. Police have been called to the house before, but authorities have not been able to confirm to the media reports of a police response as of Thursday night. A neighbor reportedly said that the mother came in, walked in, saw something, and screamed. Police removed several items from the home on Thursday, including a crib. They have characterized the girl's death as untimely and said it's too soon to tell whether criminal activity was involved in the death of this 2-month-old girl in New Britain. Coffee break time's 11:35.
A disgruntled employee of a collection company in Danbury was arrested Thursday afternoon after he reportedly took a gun into the building, police said. Police said Friday that the gun, later found in the man's car, was fake. According to the News-Times, a witness at Eastern Account System on Corporate Drive called police at around 3:30 in the afternoon to report the man was carrying a handgun. The caller remained on the phone with police until officers arrived to arrest the man, who was found in a cubicle with his head down on the desk, according to the report. Police identified the man as 22-year-old Artie Bailey of Bridgeport. Police said he initially did not show his hands when ordered by officers, but later complied. He was charged with breach of peace and taken to Danbury Hospital for evaluation. No one was injured.
You know, this morning we had said that any read that starts with police are announcing, I think the same also goes for a disgruntled employee. Any read that starts with a disgruntled employee doesn't end well.
No. In other news, Governor Daniel P. Malloy says Connecticut will eventually require police to wear body cameras, but that the action is not likely this year. The Waterbury Republican American reported that Malloy told reporters Thursday an estimated cost of $300 to $1,000 per officer for the equipment's the initial hurdle. The National Conference of State Legislatures says legislatures in 30 states are considering police body camera measures. Connecticut lawmakers are considering a bill which would have police departments in 3 communities test the body-worn video recorders under the guidance of state police. The pilot program would run from October 1st of this year to September 30th of 2016. Police body cameras have again become an issue following the fatal shooting of an unarmed black motorist by a white police officer in South Carolina. That police officer has been charged with murder. Your coffee break time, 11:37.
Thanks, John. Well, a woman who worked as a cleaning lady at a home in Trumbull allegedly stole 2 expensive pieces of jewelry and a blank check from the homeowner. 36-year-old Nomi Neves of Bridgeport worked for a cleaning service which was used by the Trumbull resident. The resident later noticed her rings were missing and suspected that Neves had been in the home around the time of the disappearance. She contacted the company that Neves worked for and was told that she had just been arrested in Westport on similar charges. Police in Westport had also found a blank check and the jewelry belonging to the Trumbull resident when they apprehended Neves. She was charged with second-degree larceny April 3rd and is scheduled to appear in court April 10th.
Thank you, Kate. Story that I talked to Mac Reed about before yesterday's Yankee Fisherman, which you can watch and listen to live Thursdays at 1. Dead fish have been surfacing at Fox Hill Lake in Ridgefield, washing up on shorelines and collecting near the dam at the lake's outlet. This has been happening in a number of lakes throughout Connecticut. The fish die-offs are natural and fairly common, particularly when there is a harsh winter with thick ice and a lot of snow cover. Don Meisling, senior fisheries biologist with the Inland Fisheries Division of the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, said this is a winter fish kill due to early ice and heavy snow conditions. People are upset in Ridgefield. They're saying there are hundreds of fish. It's disgusting. It's so extreme. It's a tragedy for the ecosystem. But people familiar with lake biology, the biologist for the state, the town's inland wetland agents, and longtime members of the Fox Hill Lake Association don't seem worried, although some people are alarmed at the sight of the dead fish, the smell associated with them, and the size. A lot of anglers are upset because you're seeing a number of what would be trophy fish that have washed up. Some are little sunnies. Grass carp that were put in the water by the Lake Association as a natural means of controlling aquatic weeds and algae. They have washed up. Some of them as big as 40 pounds.
Wow.
According to Beth Pizer, she is the inland wetlands agent for the town of Ridgefield. Again, like I said, this has been happening quite a bit through Connecticut. I have seen it on social media that I follow for Yankee Fishermen. A number of places where dead fish have surfaced as we get ice out because the ice was so thick and then the sun was blocked out by the snow.
See, I'm really glad I have the Yankee Fisherman here to explain this to me and Mac Reed's story, because I'm sorry, there's something so ominous about walking up to a lake and seeing a bunch of dead fish. There's something very plague-like about it.
You figure that, like lots of times, the horror movie always includes a scene of mysterious fish dying,
bubbling lakes,
and then of course the next thing is a biologist saying, "Don't worry, there's nothing wrong."
Nothing to see him. No, but they are upsetting. They are upsetting to see. Well, we're talking fishing opening day tomorrow for Connecticut, New York,
the fish will be alive
Rhode
before
Island.
you catch them.
They're stocking today. They're catching up on the stocking, though I think the winter did back them up. But we have opening day tomorrow. We're all pretty excited about it. And also, right now, as we speak, they were doing a demo up in Old Lyme of the dogs that the DEEP has trained to sniff out hidden, illegally caught fish.
Yeah, that is so neat.
Which is interesting. 11:40 on your coffee break. Time for a look at the roads with Don Eng.
Okay, nothing much new to report on the roads. There's road work in Farmington now, 84 westbound at exit 37. That's going on today until 3 o'clock. The left lane closed. Also, Route 2 east, right around exit 5, there is a traffic accident there and a lane closed, and so the right lane closed there. Other than that, we just have the normal incidents in the normal places. Delays in Darien, 95 north at exit 10. Roadwork in Waterbury, 84 westbound at exit 21 until 3, the left lane closed. 95 north, exit 13 until 2:15 today, the left lane closed. And Westport, tree trimming, Parkway South at exit 42 until 3 o'clock today. That's got the right lane closed and traffic backed up there. Checking the weather. Chance of showers before noon today. Areas of fog, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high near 54. Tonight, showers mainly before 9. Patchy fog and mostly cloudy night overnight, gradually clearing up, low around 45. And for opening weekend of the fishing season, beautiful weather, sunny with a high near 60 on Saturday, 65 and sunny on Sunday. Right now it is a cloudy 42 degrees outside our Ridgefield studio, 41 in Fairfield, 42 in Greenwich. Coffee break time, 11:41.
All right. Thanks, Don. Well, when we come back, another look at local sports and plenty more news to bring you coming up on Coffee Break.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersam Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Thank you for rejoining us on Coffee Break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com. John Kovach here live from our Ridgefield studio, which is why it looks different if you've been watching the live stream that we've begun. I'm joined by Kate Czaplinski, Don Eng, Rob Adams, a host of people behind the scenes that we will acknowledge later. I'm going to step in for Rob with sports. We were supposed to bring you a baseball game today. That was going to be at Ridgefield. That has been postponed. That was Wilton at Ridgefield. That has been postponed. We will be bringing you baseball tomorrow. The time of that has changed. Darien will be playing Norwich Free Academy at Dodd Stadium in Norwich. Rob will be on the call. That game's been moved from noon to 5 p.m. first pitch, so look for your pregame on that game for 6:50 Saturday. A lot postponed today. If you're scheduled to go to a game and you haven't heard yet, check your local websites because there are a ton of postponements today. Thanks to Bill Blocks. And one story here of note, the Massac High boys tennis team beat Stratford High 4-3 yesterday in their season opener. That is the first match that the Panthers have won in 3 seasons. So they snap a long losing streak. Congratulations to the Massac Panthers for that. Kate, we've got Behind the News coming up at noon. Who's booked for that?
Well, we have Chris Burns of the Wilton Bulletin. He's on the road right now, so he's going to be calling in, and we're going to be talking to him about a story he wrote, basically looking at that Central Connecticut State University study on racial profiling. So we'll be talking more about that, and then we're excited on a totally different police news topic. We're going to have Captain Jeff Kreitz on to talk about a sad story, but really sweet story, just about how they're kind of honoring their canine Zeus, who's going to be put down next week.
And I just watched one of those videos on Facebook, and it's just heart-wrenching.
It really is. But, I mean, that's all coming up. We're excited about that. We're also going to be talking about the top stories. And right after us, Radio Arts and Leisure.
No, I was going to say, like, that's, in the grand scheme, in the grand design, if there actually, in fact, is one, that can only be viewed as a serious mistake. I mean, people live into their 80s and dogs live 10 years.
The cruelest joke.
What were they thinking?
I know.
Yeah, it's going to be an emotional discussion. You can just tell I'm behind.
We're all going to have to keep it together, but we'll do it.
So what else is happening in the news?
Well, on April 8th, the State Police Statewide Narcotics Task Force detectives from the Southwest office executed a search and seizure warrant and an arrest warrant in Bridgeport. The warrants were obtained after the task force detectives and local police officers from various departments conducted a lengthy narcotics investigation. Detectives seized 6 grams of crack cocaine, 3.4 grams of heroin, a Colt 45 handgun with an obliterated serial number, about $2,000, and assorted drug paraphernalia. The accused, who's 25-year-old David Dumond of Wade Street in Bridgeport, was detained pending his court appearance. He was charged with 3 counts of sale of narcotics, possession of narcotics within 1,500 feet of a school, criminal possession of a firearm and ammunition, and alteration of a firearm and operating a drug factory. Coffee break time is 11:48.
Thank you, Kate. The Lockwood Matthews Mansion Museum of Norwalk has received a $20,000 grant from the Xerox Foundation in support of the museum's 2015 educational and cultural programs for children and families. The museum was called a treasured piece of history for the area by Mark Conlon, who's president of the Xerox Foundation. The museum said the contribution comes at a crucial time and will have an impact on the quality of life in the communities that it serves. The mansion's in Norwalk on West Avenue, 295 West Avenue. You can get more information at lockwoodmatthewsmansion.com. By the way, a place that I need to go to, and it's a very impressive building. The history of it is very cool. It really a place that it's my bad for not having gotten there before.
Yeah. No, I've never been either. So maybe we'll take a field trip, John.
There we go. We could be a remote.
Could be. Well, in other news, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro will reintroduce what she calls SAFER, the Support Assault Firearm Elimination and Education for Our Streets Act. That would provide a tax credit to people who chose to turn in an assault weapon to law enforcement. She called giving tax credits for those who turn in assault weapons a common sense, constructive step she said would prevent shootings such as Sandy Hook or the Aurora, Colorado movie theater shooting. DeLauro first introduced the legislation during the last session of Congress. The Safer Streets Act would create a $2,000 refundable tax credit, $1,000 for 2 consecutive years, for an assault weapon owner who gives their firearm to law enforcement. The idea for the law was proposed to DeLauro by Connecticut resident Joe Bango, according to a press release from DeLauro's congressional office. DeLauro considers herself a longtime supporter of stronger laws she said prevent gun violence. She supports a comprehensive ban on assault weapons, as well as high-capacity ammunition feeding devices, closing the gun show loophole to ensure background checks are conducted on all gun purchases, and healthcare system improvements to better assist Americans struggling with mental health issues.
I would just like to call for a moratorium on putting the words common sense in front of any legislation that you happen to endorse.
Does anybody propose legislation that's not common? I think this bill is really stupid, and I'm proud to put my name on this. It's asinine.
Yes, and I hereby introduce this uncommon and nonsensical bill to.
If you oppose common sense legislation, you disagree with the person who is speaking.
And if you vote for this bill, the terrorists win. I think that just needs to be said.
Boy. Speaking of votes, Kate, you had a budget meeting last night in Trumbull?
Yeah, budget meeting was approved. The budget was approved last night by the town council. Not too much drama, except when it came to talking about a new position for a director of parks and recreation. See, Trumbull already has a park superintendent and a director of recreation, but now this position would oversee both those departments as well as the municipal Toshua Nose golf course, which does very well and is actually self-sustaining. So there's been some criticism of that, adding another level of management in that office. However, the town council, which is overwhelmingly Republican, they approved it. There was an effort by Democrats on the board to get it taken out.
Well, it was common sense legislation.
Right, it was common sense legislation. Now, Trumbull's adding two pretty big tickets because they have to add a health director, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, there is. We have to. Trumbull has to create a health department now because we were part of a regional health district with Monroe. And that was all done, through the health district. It was its own body. It wasn't part of the town. The town just gave money to it. So now the town council voted to leave it, which was Tim Herp's proposal, because he thought that the cost was getting out of control and it wasn't. There was also some talk about, last spring the farmers market never came back, and the owners of that market had blamed the health district for what they called too tough restrictions that kind of hurt their business and made them decide not to come back. And so, that was definitely a factor, and a lot of people were upset about that. And so now Trumbull's going to have an in-house health department, which should be interesting. But, I thought it was interesting last night. First Selectman Tim Herp said that they've already offered the job for this new director of Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
And he said that the person is the A-Rod of Parks and Recreation departments.
That's
And I don't know.
He's
I don't know
polarizing.
I don't know that I would have used that term.
I'm not.
He has a habit of taking vitamins that his mysterious cousin gives him without asking what they are.
That was good.
That
was good.
So we'll see what happens. He says if it gets proved that this position is not necessary through an audit that they're going to do of that department, then he will be the first one to publicly eat crow.
Okay.
I love the way politicians talk.
Seriously.
Oh, because I was just sitting here thinking, what we really need is another level of government bureaucracy in the town. That's a crying need.
Exactly. Don, let's take a look at the traffic and the weather. It's clouded over, and I've seen and I should leave this to our aviation desk, because of low clouds and the weather, there are delays approaching an hour at LaGuardia Airport. Wow. So what are the roads like with this heavy fog that's threatening to come down upon us?
Well, the roads actually aren't too bad. The only real delays that are popping up on the DOT's site is Darien 95 northbound at exit 10. Still some volume delays there. Also, we have delays in Westport on the Merritt Parkway southbound at exit 42 because they're trimming trees there. That's got the traffic backed up. And just checking in with our Cape Town, South Africa desk, mist rolling in from city to the Coburg Exchange. So they're essentially in the same situation that we are.
Yeah, so it's interchangeable. By the way, it's Sibling Day, which I did not know there was one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear that this morning. You guys are like my siblings.
We're like that.
Yeah.
Aww.
When's co-anchored?
Which means you annoy the heck out of me. But
all right.
See, the telling
Kate
thing
for the win.
The telling thing is that we all got very excited when we found out that it was National Beer Day.
See,
earlier in the week, we were all
took the
excited.
contrarian view because I never had a drop all day.
I didn't either.
I didn't have any.
I didn't have any on National Beer Day.
Not a drop. Well, the Cabernet, but no beer.
I wonder if it has a Boxing Day type element to it, though, like the day after.
Ooh. Yeah, we call we call that we call that we call that the Tylenol Day.
Well, happy sibling day to all of our siblings. Do we all have siblings? I have two. I have a brother and a sister.
I got 3.
And John, I know. You've got a couple. Okay, so happy sibling day to one and all.
Oh yeah, Don. Anything changing before we head out? Anything different on the roads?
No, the roads continue to be okay. They are kind of misty and damp in places, but no real problems to report on. And as we were mentioning with the weather, chance of showers continuing, foggy, misty out there. A high of about 54 today, and showers tonight, mainly before 9 o'clock. Patchy fog, mostly cloudy, gradually clearing up, 45. And as we were saying, a beautiful weekend coming. 60 degrees on Saturday, bright sun, and sunny, and 65 on Sunday as everyone heads out to the local trout streams for opening day.
There you go.
Can't wait. That is going to do it for our coffee break this morning. Thank you for joining us. Stay with us. Kate and I will be joined by Josh Fisher. We're going to discuss what went into the stories that you just heard on Behind the News.